Hey guys, it's Carter Freak here. I'm here to talk to you guys about the changes in patch 2.0 and how they've really affected which characters at the top and which ones have seen some changes that have really hurt them in their gameplay. So we're going to start with the characters that I currently think are the top 5 characters in the game. So first off, we have Daisy. Daisy right now is basically old Peach. She has really good angles, she can play net really aggressively, which is really good in this patch, especially with the changes to double tap flats at net. Double tap flats at net now being extremely powerful. She also has really powerful baseline too, honestly more powerful than Peach's. So she can play from pretty much anywhere on the court. She doesn't have very many weaknesses other than being a little slow in comparison to some of the other characters. So I would say that Daisy's a very solid pick right now. You're not going to have very many hard matchups. You'll generally have a pretty good time playing this character. My second character right now is Koopa Troopa. So Koopa Troopa, again, didn't really see any nerfs in this patch, and with the volley changes, his slice got better. In general, aggressive play is a lot better in this patch. So he's going to be a character that once you get used to how he moves, and you can use zone speed a little less, he will be really powerful in your hands. Definitely recommend this character if you like movement that's a little less straightforward, similar to Luigi, where you have to kind of do circles in order to move effectively. My third character right now is a tie between Toadette and Peach. Now, originally I would have said that Peach is better than Toadette, but with the nerfs that Peach got in this patch, she was toned down a little bit, not much, but a little bit. And I would say that now they're about on the same page. Toadette has slightly stronger angles, so if you really want really aggressive play, I would suggest Toadette over Peach. But if you're not the kind of person that really likes having a height disadvantage, or you find you lunge too much because of your height, then I'd probably go with Peach over Toadette. However, if you like speed, again, Toadette's a pretty good choice too, so that one's kind of either or. So third and fourth probably goes to Peach and Toadette. Now, fifth is a little hard, but I want to, and this is going to be kind of an unpopular opinion here, but I genuinely think DK is top 5 right now. DK is basically the old Waluigi from patch 1.1, and the reason I say that is he has very large reach, he has pretty much half-court reach from standing in the middle, so he can reach pretty much anything. And with the buff slice to him and the changes to volley, his offensive options are actually significantly better than they were in the prior patch. On top of zone shots and special shots in general being better options for playing aggressive, DK has moved up significantly on my list. Now, the other character that I think is also a contender for top 5, but DK just slightly edges out on, is Boo. Boo is disgusting on this patch. He was already pretty hard to deal with on the prior patch, unless you were playing a pretty high reach character. But with how fast the slices are now, Boo can destroy people. You can burn their meters so fast now with slices. He can actually play the net now too, which is something that Boo originally could not do. So not only does he have threatening baseline, he also has threatening net now too. So he's definitely a threat and somebody to watch out for. Going down the list a little more, I'm going to say Bowser is basically the weaker DK. Not a huge difference between the two of them, other than slightly more range on DK and DK having a bit more speed. So those are the two main things that really separate Bowser from DK, is that Bowser's a little slower and doesn't really have the same angles, but he has a much better topspin, so that's something to take into consideration. Going down the list a little more, I'm going to say, honestly, from this point on, a lot of these characters are viable, but are not as good as the rest of the characters. We're going to say Spike, as he, again, saw some improvements. He moves a little faster, he has better volley, all these things that honestly make a really good aggressive play. And he already had a pretty good topspin to begin with. His single tap topspin was pretty much one of the best out of all the powers. So he definitely is moving up on the list. From there, Blooper. Blooper got some major changes in this patch. He can actually keep up with the game now. He moves a lot faster. He already had good shots to begin with. Like, he has really scary angles to deal with. Very similar to Boo, actually, just a little more baseline oriented. Hard to say if he moved up as much as I think he did, but right now I'm feeling like he's pretty good. I definitely would say he's a viable character. From there, Luigi. Luigi has moved down a little bit on my my current opinion of the game, but he's definitely not a bad character. He still has a really good volley, and overall he still has good reach as well, which are the two big things that made Luigi kind of scary to deal with. His movement speed is enough to really keep up with most of the balls, but now he's got a bit of weakness in that if you make a bad prediction, he takes a little longer to turn around now, so you actually are forced to burn much more zone speed than you were before, and with the meter changes, that's a pretty big deal. Further down the list, we got Wario. Wario is actually, honestly, a lot better than he was in the prior patch, but I still don't think it's enough to really put him ahead of the other powers in the game right now. He has really fast ball speed, but it's just his angles aren't really enough to really push him above the rest of the characters in the game right now. Yoshi. So Yoshi is probably a little bit of a dark horse. Hard to say whether or not he's actually as low as I'm placing him right now. There's a couple players that are really putting in work on him right now, such as Ibuprofen. Ibuprofen is making Yoshi look quite good, so it's really hard to say. Certain courts, I think he is really hard to deal with on, especially clay. So if you're playing in a tournament format and you have character counter picks and all this kind of fun stuff, then Yoshi could be a good pick in certain situations. From here, so the rest of these characters that I'm going to list off, I don't think are all that good right now, and I think they really need a little bit of help. So, Mario. Mario is basically the average character in the game. He's jack of all trades, but has nothing really exceptionally good about him. His volley is still okay. His stroke is really where he shines, but stroke is not exactly super good in this current patch, so it's hard to say if he's going to really be able to do much against some of the top tier characters. It's definitely going to be an uphill battle if you decide to choose to play Mario in this patch. Waluigi. Waluigi is basically a weaker Donkey Kong and Bowser at this point. He really doesn't have a whole lot going for him. They nerfed him again this patch. His his movement forward and backwards now takes significantly longer if you make a judgment error. So it's really hard to say, like, I just don't think he's that good this patch. He definitely needs a little help. This on top of all, like, he doesn't have very strong angles, just makes him a very mediocre character right now. Bowser Jr. Actually, no, sorry, not Bowser Jr. Diddy Kong. Diddy Kong is probably, right now, the weakest out of all the speedy characters. He is still not terrible. He does have a spin special, which is still better, but not significantly better compared to his push specials now, as push specials got buffed. But I would say that he's workable, but he's not going to really be able to score points very well on a lot of the top tier characters. He doesn't have the same aggressive angles that they do, and he doesn't really have the shot speed either, so he doesn't have a whole lot going for him. Chain Chomp. Chain Chomp is probably the weakest power character by far right now. He just doesn't have the movement speed to really get to a whole lot. His lunges put him out of position really badly. And honestly, his shot speed just not as threatening as the other power characters, so the only real thing he's got going for him is he's got a big body similar to Donkey Kong and Bowser, but he just doesn't have the same threat that those characters have while being able to play as defensively, so I think he's honestly the worst power character right now. Bowser Jr. Oh boy, how much this character has changed since 1.0. Bowser Jr. is arguably bottom 3 right now. He has range, but he moves really slow, and he has gutted angles. His angles are just completely awful compared to what they used to be. And just in general, he can't get in front of balls anymore. It's really hard for him to be able to play aggressively in this patch, and I think that really hurts him because he's a character that excels when he can build meter. as of right now, I really wouldn't suggest playing Bowser Jr. unless you really like the character. And if you do play him, be aware that you're going to be playing a very big uphill battle in most of your matches. Toad. Toad is, again, pretty much one of, like, it's between Diddy and Toad, one of the not-so-good speedy characters. He is fast as hell, but he just has such minuscule range that you're often going to be forced into burning zone speed to be able to get to faster balls in the game, even with that movement speed. And with his short height, he just doesn't have the ability to catch balls that go a little higher, so top spins can cause him to lunge. And aggressive special shots and zone shots that are aimed to the back of the court can force him to burn more meter than other characters would have to burn. So he's in a bit of a rough spot. Now, undisputably the worst character in the game right now, and I hate to say it, Rosalina. Rosalina right now is awful. Absolutely awful. She is slow. All of her shots are slow. And she doesn't have anything going for her. Her angles are even bad too. Everything about this character, she needs major help. She needs a buff. She straight up needs a buff. And I don't understand why Nintendo nerfed her in this patch. But, or sorry, not Nintendo, Camelot. Camelot nerfed her in this patch. But it happened, so if you're playing Rosalina, I highly recommend switching your character. Again, unless you really like Rosalina. And if you do, then be aware that you're probably going to lose most of your matches. Alright guys, so that's pretty much everything in terms of the characters in the game right now. I'm pretty sure I didn't miss anybody. I'll come back to make another one of these videos when our next character comes out. It's probably going to be Birdo or Troopa, and see which character, or where they move on the list, and what other changes they make. We'll see. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the video. See you guys later.